Full Mechanics Raider Gundam. Hey, how's it going? In today's video, we have the Full Mechanics GAT X370 Raider Gundam from Bandai. Released in May of 2022, this kit cost me $86.99 Canadian. Following in the steps of the Full Mechanics Calamity, the Raider now gets its own 1/100 scale model kit. And it first appears in the anime series Gundam Seed. Together with the Calamity and Forbidden, it makes a 3-man team. So it's safe to assume that the Forbidden's probably going to get its own model kit. And the Raider is the only suit on that team that has a second form, in which it could transform to and carry its fat sister unit, the Calamity. And I'll be showing you that later in the video. Enough of that, let's start the review. Like always, box art looks pretty good. The Raider is in its humanoid form, slinging around its Mjolnir mace. And spoiler alert, for this kit, I absolutely love the mace. And like I said earlier, it is a 1/100 kit, and despite being branded as Full Mechanics, the amount of detail on this kit is actually pretty close to a master grade. On the side of the box, we have a front and back neutral pose of the kit fully built and painted, as well as some pictures highlighting the extras and gimmicks that come with the kit, and also some images for the transformation, with the emphasis of a lot of moving parts. Now on the other side of the box, we got a cool action pose, as well as the mobile armor mode, and just like the anime, we have the Calamity standing on top of the Raider. Well, that's gonna be fun to try to copy. Yeah, looking like this kit has a lot of potential. Anyways, onto the kit itself. And here we have the Full Mechanics Raider. Complete straight build, and I panlined what I could. Seeing as it mostly is black, it's somewhat limited. In my case, I panlined the face just to bring out some more detail. Very mean looking, especially with that mouth. A face only a mother would love, or if you prefer your mobile suits to have an energy cannon in its mouth. Also for this kit, you are given this many stickers, and I use as many as the manual told me to, which is quite a lot. These stickers look pretty good on the gray areas, however on the black, it actually shows the outline of the sticker itself, so it kind of ruins the aesthetics there. But because it is mostly a black kit, you can't really panel line it, so the stickers actually add some amount of detail onto it, even if they do suck. Stickers aside, the kit looks pretty good, especially when compared to the anime depiction. I personally find the proportions look a lot better, and because of how detailed these Full Mechanics kits have gotten, it makes somewhat of a forgettable mobile suit in the series into a nice eye-catching model kit. And though there might not be a lot of panel lining opportunities, there is a good amount of surface level detail, and a small amount of mechanical elements found throughout the kit, especially in the shoulder pauldrons and the underside of the feet. The colors contrast very well, you can't go wrong with red and black, especially on the backpack, and like almost all Gundam Seed kits, it's extremely back heavy, but still very cool looking, and quite possibly one of my favorite backpack designs. The Raider has never been one of my favorite mobile suits, but the model kit definitely changed my opinion. Its appearance very unique, and I absolutely love it. But like I said earlier, it is a transformable kit, and that might affect its articulation. But let's take a look. Starting with the head, it can move side to side like so. The base of the neck also allows the head to extend, and it can 360 rotate, but the V-fin might get caught up in the backpack, so be careful there. We have this much of an up and down head tilt, and before I move on to the arms, I'm just going to remove the backpack unit. Shoulder pauldrons are able to move up and down this far, and we have this much of an internal-external shoulder rotation. This much of a shoulder abduction, shoulder pauldrons do kind of get in the way, and because this kit's ability to transform, there's a joint here that allows the arm to extend out a bit. For arm movement, we have upper bicep 360 rotation, an excellent elbow bend. The fingers just fell off, but the thumb is on a typical ball joint, as is the wrist, allowing it to rotate and swivel about. For torso articulation, we have this much of a side bend, which is pretty good. There's also a decent ab crunch, and a decent back extension. The kit would be able to fully 360 rotate, but then you have these giant claws in the back. Coming around the backpack, this cockpit part actually opens up, revealing the M417 80mm machine gun, and only used in the mobile armor mode. And we have this large thruster unit, which is on a ball joint. The wings are able to fold up like so, pretty much at a 90 degree, and the wings are able to rotate this far. Don't try to force it anymore or it's gonna break. The wings are also able to extend out like so, just be a little gentle over here. It might be tight at first, but you're gonna have to actually pull and rotate at the same time, and they actually extend out quite a bit. And here's a clear view of the whole glider unit, fully extended. The black and white looks really good on this. Coming down to the lower portion, with the skirts, we have the front skirts that can flip up and down, and swivel around because they're all in a ball joint. Moving on to the side skirts, they actually have one of the most interesting part of the kit, the claws, which are able to 360 rotate, and it's usually used in its second form. But it doesn't mean you have to use it that way, because you could use it this way and it looks pretty crazy. As for articulation though, the claws have two main arms that allow it to fold out quite a bit, here and here. There's a joint over here that allows it to rotate pretty much over 180 degrees. The claws have two main points of articulation, one here at the base of the claw, allowing it to rotate up and down, and there's another hinge at the tip of the claw, allowing it to move. This applies to both of the claws. Good amount of movement, and overall a very mean looking weapon. And coming to the back, the butt flaps can move up and down. And as for the splits, moving all the side skirts out of the way, it easily accomplishes this. The upper part of the leg can 360 rotate, and the kit has a good high kick, as well as a back kick. And there's a sliding mechanism here where the leg's attached to the hip, enabling the kit to have a pelvic tilt. And for the rest of the leg, I removed it to make this easier, but it has an exceptional knee bend. The turbines on the side of the leg and back of the leg are on a ball joint, allowing it to rotate and swivel about. Coming down to the foot, we have this much of a side-to-side pivot. And because it transforms, it can't 360 rotate, but here's the dorsiflexion and toe point. Overall articulation is pretty good, and it's good to know its transformation function hasn't hindered that. Now moving on to accessories and extras, of which, like shown earlier on the box, it has a lot. First thing, we have a pair of open hands, and a right trigger finger hand. Surprisingly, this kit doesn't have that many hand options, though it doesn't need it. But it sure does have a lot of adapters. The first action-based adapter here is the H110, which is for the backpack, and it slots right in here snugly. Next up, we're given two crotch adapters. We have this one here, which is much more heavy duty, and the traditional smaller one. I don't recommend using the small one because the large one here is much stronger, so you can throw this out or keep it as spare parts, up to you. And it slots in the crotch just like this. Now just get yourself an action base, not included. I'm using the action base one, and pretty much all the action base adapters work pretty well, but the kit's a bit heavy, so it's a balancing act, but it's not too difficult to do. Now let's move on to weapons. First, we got the dual 52mm hypervelocity shield cannon. Overall, a pretty detailed looking shield, though not a lot of colored part separation. It's a shield with two cannons. What more can you ask for? Well, I guess maybe more surface area for the shield. The shield does have a flip down handle for the trigger finger hand. And after like 15 minutes of fumbling, I finally have it in the hand, but I would never actually display it like this. But it's nice to have options. I prefer to actually just flip up the handle, and it gives you a tab over here that connects onto the forearms. I find this looks a lot better, and also it's a much stronger connection. Now the last weapon we have here is the Mjolnir Spherical Breaker. Now the spiky mace here looks very badass. It has a lot of surface level detail, good for panel lining, I should have done that. And like I stated early in the review, I absolutely love it. And here's why: you can actually pull out the handle, revealing the cable that runs right into the mace. And as you can see, a very long cable. Cool engineering, the wire is actually spun inside the mace, kinda like a yo-yo. And to retract the wire, it's very easy to do. Just rotate the spikes on the side of the Mjolnir. And I'll let you know I've played around with this like 100 times, never had any issues, never jammed at all. I love how they're doing new engineering for these full mechanics kits. And to equip it, you just take out the holding hand and slide it in between the handle. And you may be thinking that it kinda looks stupid when fully extended. However, worry not, this kit does come with a clear stand for the Mjolnir. But before you put it on the stand, the Mjolnir actually comes with its own specific adapter, and you're gonna need to line up this hole over here for this peg. And at the bottom of the adapter, there's a hole for the stand. I tried pulling off this pose as best as I can, and I think it does pretty well. But for this pose, I'm actually holding the stand a lot higher than it should be, because the stand isn't that tall. And personally, I like the wings open for the aerial poses, in which I think the kit does pretty well. Now that's it for weapons, but there's still a couple more extras. However, those are for the mobile armor mode. So let's start transforming. And before you begin, I highly recommend removing the backpack, it's gonna make it a lot easier. Now on the collar, there's this piece over here which you could pull down, unlocking the neck, allowing the whole head unit to retract into the body like a turtle, after which tilt the head all the way up. Next up, just flip the shoulder open, revealing the machine guns housed in the shoulder. Now you just gotta pop it out, rotate it 90 degrees, and because it's actually attached onto a track, you could just slide it out. And it should look like this. Next up, just rotate the shoulder pauldrons down, make sure the guns are pointing forward, then just close up the shoulder pauldron. Do the same thing for the other side, and you're done with the arms. Now for the claws, you gotta rotate them all the way forward, and then just fold up the arms to where the chest should be. Should look something like this. Now for the legs, I'm just gonna remove the torso. Before we transform the legs, these thrusters should be pulled down to unlock the knees. Now you bend the knee back, and then you bend the shin forward, and then point the toes. It might look difficult, but I can assure you it's very easy. And just do the exact same thing to the other side. Now there's a clip right over here, allowing the legs to attach together. Now just reconnect the torso. Coming onto the backpack, you just spread out the wings, and just open up the hatch. Reconnect the backpack, and it should look like this. Now for the primary weapons, just reattach the shield cannon onto the arm, just like how it was before, but now facing forward. Now for the Mjolnir, this hole over here actually serves a purpose for that awkward peg that sticks out of the Mjolnir. And you're still not done. You are given this landing piece, and using the adapter earlier for the Mjolnir, along with the clear base given to you, attach the landing piece onto the clear base, and then Mjolnir's adapter right onto it. Then attach the whole unit right onto the Mjolnir. And you're done. Here's the Raider Gundam in its mobile armor mode. It's nice that Bandai included the stand, especially if you want to just display it like this. But I don't think the Raider should be grounded like this. Now using the action base adapter for the crotch shown earlier, sticking on that action base. Now being in the air is a much better look for this kit. Though I still prefer it in its robot mode, this mobile armor definitely looks very unique. Kinda looks like a combination of a bird and a jet, with those claws being a very definite eye catcher. Now I said this earlier in the review, if you have a Calamity Gundam, you can actually attach it onto this kit, as highlighted on the box. You are given these adapter pieces that go on the wings. They simply just slide on the grooves over here, and the Calamity just sits on top of that. Now just be careful how you display this, because the Calamity is pretty heavy, and having two kits on each other just, isn't the best idea. But you could do this pose!
Parkour! Get off! Get off! Okay.
And that's it for extras and accessories, as well as the mobile armor mode. Now if you're wondering, here's the shake test. And here's the shake test in robot mode. Surprisingly, it holds up a lot better than I thought. The backpack's very heavy, so it makes sense not falling off. However, I can confidently say it's a pretty solid kit. As for how big the kit is, it's around 8 inches tall, or 20.32 centimeters. For size comparison, here is next to the entry grade RX-78-2, master grade RX-78-2, full mechanics Calamity, and the Calamity is a little bit taller, high-end master model Fang Tiger, Figurized standard amplified Machine Dramon, Haro, DK, Doraemon, and a couple of small Zoid boxes from my backlog. As for shelf presence, it is a 1/100 scale model kit, so it has pretty decent amount of it, and I can't wait for the Forbidden to come out so I can complete this collection here. With that, my review is over. And like always, if you like the kit, go ahead and get it. It looks pretty good, pretty decent amount of articulation, that's not hindered by its ability to transform, and thankfully transformation is not hard. Lots of extras, it's relatively easy to build, and it's pretty solid. Now that's if you like the kit. If you don't like it at all, I don't even know why you're watching this video. But since you did watch the video, thanks for watching my video. I hope you like it. I enjoy making it. Let me know what you think. Hopefully they make a full mechanics Forbidden. I bet they will. I'll definitely be grabbing it. Thanks again for watching. Take care. Bye.